Hey everybody, Jim Bart here. I'm excited about today's video because today I want to talk about USI Tech strategy. So USI Tech, if you haven't heard of them, they're a company that basically pays you an annuity type investment of 1% per day. And for example, if you had $100 and you were to invest $100, then over the next 140 working days, they would pay you 1% per day on the amount that you deposited. So after 140 days, you'd essentially end up with $140 if you initially invested $100. So that's a pretty good deal. Now, USI Tech has some new things going on with their website that allow you to kind of change up your investment strategy, and if you want to try to get different results with your investment strategy. And so I developed a calculator to help you guys be able to figure out what exactly your results would be based on the new things that USI Tech is offering. So when I talk about the new things that USI Tech is offering, I'm talking about their rebuy percentage setup. So you can see here that on their website, normally they had an automatic rebuy where once you met the minimum deposit amount, you could just have it automatically rebuy a new package. Well, now they have this new feature here called the automatic percentage rebuy, and using this percentage rebuy, it's kind of interesting because you're like, well, what would I end up with if I did a percentage rebuy of 80%, 70%, 50%? There's not really a good way of calculating that easily. So, I mean, you have to. So what I did is I developed a calculator that would help with that problem, and so I just wanted to show you guys that today and talk about some different strategies. So on the calculator here, everything in yellow is something that I can manipulate, and then everything else is basically the resultant of what we put in the yellow. So under the normal contracts, let's say you just started with $1,000 with USI Tech. The minimum, so you can see here the minimum reinvestment package price is $60. And just for ease, I know they sell packages for 50 euros, but I live in the US, and I'm used to using US dollars. So right now, $50 is approximately $60, 50 euros is approximately worth $60 here in the US. So just to make it easy, I just put $60 in there, and that's the minimum amount. If that changes, you can change this. Let's say the euro to the dollar goes less, and now the packages are really only $55. Well, you can change that, but for now, we're just going to leave it at $60. And then here's your percentage reinvest function. So just like you see here on the USI Tech webpage, 80%. You can do that here, and if you wanted to set 80% there, you could do that. And then you see how the graph right here, how that changed, and that's just showing you what your payouts would be. So this is your accumulated amount, or actually it's the total withdrawn. I'll fix that here. This is the total withdrawn. Okay, and then the graph under that is your daily interest payout. So based on what you've set up here, it tells you what your daily payout would be down here. So, and then let's see. So this amount right here is your principal. So that's the amount that is your principal balance with USI Tech. Here's your total withdrawn, and here's your total return on investment. And then this number right here is the total amount of days it would take you to break even if you did a reinvest percentage. This right here is how much money you would have on, or what numbers you would have based on the day that you wanted to find out. So if I wanted to know, hey, 522 days in the future, how much money am I going to have? Okay, well that would be, that's what you put in here. So if you want to know, so the packages last for 140 days. So if I put 140 days right there, you can see over here on the right hand side, at using an 80% rebuy, we wouldn't break even until day 246, and our principal on day 140 would be $2,920. So that's how you do that. So let's start with the basic numbers here. So the basic package is 140 days. And if we start with $1,000, the minimum reinvestment is $60, and we are not reinvesting at all. We are just withdrawing our money every day, which, by the way, I do suggest starting that way. I suggest starting by pulling out your money every day. These you never know what's going to happen with cryptocurrencies or with USI Tech, and so you want to make sure that you get your money back first, and then after that you can play around with the reinvestments. But if you've been doing this for a while and you want to you're not shy about risk and you're good with that, then this calculator will calculate what your results would be. So the reinvest percentage here. So let's say we want to reinvest 50% of our earnings. So we just put 50% in there. You see how that changes the graph down here. And you see if on day 140 you'd have $1,900 principal, and you would have withdrawn a total of $987. So that's what you would have there. And let's see, your days to break even, there we go, 143. So 3 days after the end of your contract, you would actually break even using the 50% solution there. But one of the things I want to point out, so see your total withdrawn here. So eventually you're gonna your contracts are going to peak out, and that's because your daily interest payout. So after 140 days, you notice here that your daily interest payment goes higher, but then when the contract ends after 140 days, now all of a sudden our daily interest payout is less, and because we're still withdrawing 50%, we see that it gradually decreases until it kind of fades out, and there's no more money left because all the contracts have run out. So you kind of have to game this a little bit to figure out what percentage you would need in order to get your contract to keep going, because that's kind of the point of compounding. You want your contracts to be able to keep going. You kind of just want to set it and forget it. I mean, I'm the set it and forget it type, but obviously if you're not, you can do whatever you want. But this is going to show you. So let's go to let's try 60% here. 60%, you'll see that the graph kind of starts to change here. The total withdrawn is more of this parabolic shape, and you can see here though on the daily interest payout, it's still using the 60% solution. It's still not enough to sustain long term. Now, with that being said, you could just pull out your money for the first 100 days, and then when you with the earnings that you get from the last 40 days, you run this formula for the last 40 days. So I'll show you how to do that. Let me put this real quick here into 70% just so you guys can see. Okay, you can see that the graphs change a little bit more, and now we're getting closer. So actually, if we put 75%, you're going to start to see that now we have this this is more linear growth, and it's actually closer to exponential, just a real shallow exponential curve there. But the daily interest payout here, you can see, yep, there's the drop right after 140 days, or after 100 days, no, 140 days, sorry. And then, but from that point, this continues to grow and grow and grow. And that's because on day 140, you've built your principal amount up to $2,740. So if you so on the next day, day 141, see how the principal dropped? That means because on the next day, your initial starting balance, your $1,000, got subtracted from the total amount. So now you still have a leftover balance, principal balance of $1,800. So now that'll keep the contracts going. So after 140 days, now you don't have to make a new investment. You don't have to turn around and make a new $1,000 investment, because you have compounded with a reinvestment percentage. Now it just carries over and it continues to grow and grow, all the way, pretty much for as long as the company is around. So, and then of course it changes if you go 80%. You get this more exponential type curve here, and you get bigger growth over here in the daily interest payout. And of course it just gets higher as you go. So 85%, 95%, 90%. but there is kind of a point where there's a point of diminishing returns, and that's right around 95%. You would get to see that. So let's say we go out to let's call it 4 or 2 years. So that's 522 working days. So I put over here just on the side, just so you guys know, 261 working days is the equivalent to 1 year. There's 365 days in a year, but there's 52 weekends. So 52 weekends times 2 days for Saturday and Sunday, that's 104. So you take 365 minus 104, and that equals 261. So there's 261 working days in a year. So 2 years would be 522 days. So let's go back here. If you had $1,000 to start off with, you see at 90%, 95%, yeah, you're growing, but look at your total withdrawn amount is only $1,500 in that entire 2 years. Versus if you go back down to 90%, you see now your total withdrawn is $2,300. And then if you take that down even more, you see $2,700 and $2,800, $2,800. So right around 75 to 80% is kind of like the sweet spot. It's the spot where you have continual growth, but you also max out your total withdrawn amount, the amount that you put back in your pocket. So you can kind of see that here with the different numbers that you play around with. So that's one of the cool things here about a USI Tech now that they're offering. So obviously and then I put another thing here on this, and I'll show you the guys that in a second. First off, if you do want this calculator, I just want to let you know that all you have to do to get it is go to my website, investingwithjampart.com, and you can see I have some stuff on the web page here, but if you click on the calculators button, just click on that, and that'll take you to go get the calculators. I have multiple calculators for multiple programs, and if you're interested in any of those programs, I have links in the description down below, and you can just click on those to get started with it. But I also have the calculators for all those on here as well. Okay, all right. Then the last thing I wanted to show you, a couple of other things. If you were interested in the token purchase here with USI Tech, USI Tech just came out with a token, and they're in the pre-sale right now. So here's the total amount of tokens sold, but here they have the different packages. So you have the silver package, and then you have the gold package right here. I personally bought the gold package, so I got 5,000 tokens, and then I'm going to get a bonus here of 10,000 tokens as soon as this token tracker gets up to this bonus level 1 right here. So this is brand new. This was still brand new ICO pre-sale. So they haven't sold. They've only sold 25 million. So it's going to take a few days to get up here, but it'll probably get up there, probably faster than I think. And then as soon as it hits there, then I'm going to get an additional 10,000 tokens. So that's pretty nice. That essentially, if the token stays at 50 euro cents, that means that I'll triple my return as soon as I hit this bonus portion right there. So I'm pretty happy about that. And then of course, if you're a big baller, you can get the ruby or the emerald or the diamond package. Or if you're a small fry, it's okay. There's no shame in that. You can start with 100 tokens, and if you want to get in on this ICO. So that's that. Going back to, okay, so let's say you don't like the percentage withdraw, and you're like, I don't want to deal with that percentage withdraw. I just want to withdraw on the days that I want to withdraw. Let's say you just want to do Fridays, right? Okay, well, this calculator also accounts for that. So in this section here, you see here's the price of the BTC package, and here's your starting amount. So you put your starting amount right here, and let's go ahead and go with just $1,000, just like we had before. And you see here, this is your withdrawal column right here. So this is if you want to withdraw every single day, this is where you put it. So right now I already have it set up for withdrawing every single day, and you'll see that after 140 days, you have accumulated $1,400, and your percent profit is 40%. Now, and then of course you can put the percentage right here. So I guess you don't have to change this. 1% is what it is. That's essentially what they pay you. It fluctuates day to day, but what they advertise is that the average is going to be 1%. Okay. One of the cool things I like about this this calculator right here is right here where it says Bitcoin to USD price at the start. So at the time that you buy your contracts, put this number as the amount of Bitcoin to USD. So when I first bought my Bitcoin packages, I think Bitcoin was at like $4,500 when I first started. So, and then right now the current price is $7,100 with Bitcoin. So this is what's cool about this. So over here, right, you see here's your daily interest payment, right? But here's your accumulated amount. Now I have this in dollars, but when you use USI Tech, they actually pay you out in Bitcoin. So you initially invest with US dollars, 60 US dollars or euros, 50 euros, but then they pay you out in Bitcoin, and all your payouts are in Bitcoin. So as the price of Bitcoin goes up, so do your profits. And so here's what that means. So at the end of 140 days, let's just say that Bitcoin is worth $8,000 at the end of my contract. Okay. So if Bitcoin never appreciated, then here would be my profits right here. But because I think Bitcoin is going to go up to $8,000, here's what my actual profits are going to be at the end of my 140 days. Actually, I will have accumulated $2,488 because of the Bitcoin price accumulation. And so my percent profit is 148% versus the 48% the 40% that USI Tech advertises. So that's a really cool aspect about USI Tech and what they can do for you. And I really like that they actually pay you out in Bitcoin. So, let Bitcoin, go to the moon in terms of the price appreciation, because that only helps my packages with USI Tech. So that's how this calculates right here. Now, let's say you don't want to withdraw every day. You want to do a different reinvestment strategy. Let's say you want to withdraw every 5 days, or essentially every Friday, or every Monday or every Tuesday, something like that. So all you do here is you just sorry, I went through that real quick. All you got to do is select the box of the day that you want to withdraw. So here's the 15th day. That would be like the third Friday. So I want to withdraw there. So you hit the equal sign, and then right here in the accumulated amount, go ahead and hit select that number, and then hit enter. And then and then all we have to do is, now once you have a pattern, you take that pattern and then you drag it down. I have this graph going all the way out to 730 working days. So let's go back up to the top. All right, so using this strategy of every 5 days, it doesn't look like it gets me any better results than withdrawing every day. And the reason is because if I withdraw every 5 days, you see here that I have not accumulated the minimum rebuy amount. So the minimum rebuy amount is $60, but you see here that I didn't hit $60 and then I withdrew. So I either have to wait an additional day, so maybe I withdraw every 6 days, or I have to increase the amount that I invest. So let's try up to $1,500. Okay, so by investing an additional $500, you see here that now I got up to $60 in the accumulated amount, and that's enough to rebuy a package. So I rebuy a package, and now you can see how the shape of the graph here changed, and see so here's your total accumulated, or once again I need to change that to withdrawn. I'm going to change that to withdrawn, total withdrawn. Okay, and here's your daily interest payout down here, and you can see after 140 days it drops. But then because you've built up enough, now it continues on and on, pretty much forever, once again, as long as the company sticks around. So that's how you use this calculator right here. So if you use $1,500, then that's going to be enough to get you this growth that you want let's see what the minimum amount would be if you wanted to withdraw every 5 days. So not 1,200. Let's try 1,300. Not quite 1,300. 1,400. Okay, so nope, not there. So yeah, you actually need 1,500 would be the minimum in order to get this type of growth. Or if you have a less amount, so let's say you want to do $500, right? Then you just need to wait longer to actually withdraw. So I'm gonna delete these this withdraw here, and I'll get rid of that one. All right, so you see here now we were able to rebuy, do a rebuy package. So I have to let it rebuy. So let's say my first withdrawal is on day 13, and then after that I'll withdraw every 13 days after that. So let's go down to, day 25 right there, or just, as soon as you hit $60 here and you see that it repurchased the package the next day, that's when you would put your withdraw day. So if you just did that all the way down, then you can find out what your results are going to be if you do that. So let's do that right here. And okay, so now I'm going to take this pattern and I'm going to drag it right there. Oops, I messed that up. Okay, just a little bit farther. There we go. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it all the way to the bottom, and we'll see what we get here. All right, so that changed our graph. See, now you can see here's your growth that you would get. So that's pretty cool. And then let's see, after 730, put that in there, you see that okay, starting with $500, after 730 working days, I would have accumulated $3,259. That's not accounting for the Bitcoin price appreciation, but if I do have the Bitcoin price appreciation, now I've turned $500 into $5,793. That's pretty darn good. Now, obviously, we don't know if Bitcoin is going to accumulate that much. It might go down. So this also works in the opposite way. So let's say Bitcoin goes down to $400, okay, so now here's your accumulated amount. You actually lost 42%, and you've only walked away with $289 of your initial $500 investment. So if you think Bitcoin's going up, well, great. If you think Bitcoin's going down, not so great. So those are the two strategies here with USI Tech. And once again, if you want this calculator, obviously I appreciate it if you signed up using my referral link, and the referral link is down below. But if you're already signed up or you're not interested in using my link, that's fine. You can still go to investingwithjambart.com and get my calculator, or all my calculators, here at the website. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.